Happy Friday morning. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for the final day of the work week, this 26th day of July 2019. Eric Granstrom in for Dan Koontz for one more day as Dan celebrates their Koontz family reunion over in Western Washington. And it's going to be a hot one today. So I wore a sweatshirt. 98 our expected high today. We'll get you complete details in our weekend forecast coming up in just a little bit. Also, your latest local news. Looks like firefighters had some pretty good success battling the lines yesterday in the fire north of Orondo, the Desert Canyon fire. More on that coming up. The Apple Sox continue their series in Walla Walla before returning home this weekend. How did they fare last night? We'll get you the latest in sports on the way. And yesterday, first day, it's Blue Friday, first day for Seahawks at training camp as it is officially underway at the VMAC in Renton. Before we get to all of that, and our guest today is going to be intern Kyle. We have an intern here for the summer here at the NCWLIFE Channel. His name is Kyle, and we'll figure out what's happening in the mind of a 20-some-year-old kid coming up later on this morning. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. That's later on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. First, let's take a look at what's happening around the valley this morning on a stellar morning here. Weather-wise, it is absolutely cloudless as we look at our Valley View cameras. First of all, up at the cross cam provided by Sky-Fi Wireless Network and LocalTel, and nary a breath of wind either. A glass like Columbia River splitting the valley in two here in Chelan and Douglas County this morning. Hello, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, and happy Friday. To camera 2 we go this morning, and we're looking down at the stark contrast between the shadows and the sunlight in Cashmere this morning with our camera up above Appolantes, just on Highway 2 there. And you can see just a little bit of the enchantments up above. And a little bit of snow left, a little haze as well in the air. We do have some smokes from fires, burning spot fires throughout the Cascades and here in eastern Washington, including the Desert Canyon fire. So that's giving us a little bit of a haze as we look up towards the mountains and the Cascades here on our Appolantes camera. To camera 3 we go, and we'll say good morning to the Quincy Valley, and this is up on Monument, looking down, and you can see the haze there as well. We've got some fires burning in Yakima County. That's causing a little bit of the smoke drift. Of course, those fires are still burning in British Columbia in the northern climes of Canada, so those could be filtering down our way as well. Hot. I mean, that's the definition of it's going to be a hot one today when you look out and see a morning like this shortly after 7 o'clock, and you can kind of just feel it right now. To camera 4 we'll go, and we'll say good morning to, where are we here, Megan? Oh, Blag Mountain. Okay, and we're looking down, is that Highway 2 down there in the distance? Okay, Leavenworth, all right. And again, that haze in the higher elevations because of some spot fires that were started by lightning here a few days ago. So good morning, and thanks to Sky-Fi Wireless Network for providing our look around the Valley View cameras this morning. Presentation of LocalTel here on the NCWLIFE Channel. As we get you through a Friday morning, we'll see what's in store for us weather-wise today. Well, I talked about it, sunny and hot. 98 our high today. Tonight, clear skies, lows down to the 70s, we're going to say. The wind's going to kick up tonight as well. So we're crossing our fingers for work on the fire lines today that they get a lot accomplished today, even with the hot temperatures, because the wind's going to start blowing tonight, northwest 11 to 15 miles an hour. Tomorrow, sunny and breezy with gusty winds up to 33 mile an hour gusts from the northwest tomorrow. Thankfully cooler tomorrow with a high of 87. The breezes should diminish overnight Saturday nights, but will last into the evening hours. So it looks like we're going to have a windy night at the ballpark for our broadcast of Apple Sox baseball. Winds Saturday night 15 to 20, and then sunny and calm on Sunday with a high of 90. As we look into the extended forecast, it's more of the same, gang. Temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s, nighttime lows in the 60s. Our high yesterday in the Wenatchee Valley, 88 up at Pangbourne Memorial Airport, 63 the overnight low. That actually happened this morning. 89 and 63, that's our normal high and low for this time of year. So we're right in the ballpark on highs and lows. Record high for today was 106, set in 1998, 53. The record low in 1983. Sun rose this morning officially at 5:31 and will set tonight at 8:42 p.m. So there you go, a look at our forecast. Sunny and definitely hot today. Again, a friendly reminder that leave the door or the windows cracked a little bit in your car, and don't leave your kids or your pets in there, for goodness sakes. Don't even think about it. and remember them. That's the whole PSA campaign I'm hearing on radio right now is about remembering kids in the back seat. Really? Okay. We'll get your latest local news coming up next. Talk more about the fire burning at Desert Canyon. Our news sponsored by Confluence Health, dedicated to providing you with safe, quality health care and to everyone in North Central Washington. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll have more right after this.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Finally Friday, this 26th of July, 2019. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we wake up to clear skies, 63-98, the expected high today with your latest local news. The Desert Canyon fire burning north of Orondo is at 1,400 acres and 40% contained, according to the latest news from the Incident Command. But fire managers are concerned about threatening weather conditions later on today and tonight. 200 firefighters from the DNR, BLM, U.S. Forest Service, and Douglas County have been battling the blaze, which began Tuesday night. Level 3 evacuations remain in effect for 2 homes on Browns Canyon Road, and Level 1 evacuations were given to approximately a dozen homes behind Auvel Fruit. Some local farmers also assisted in the operation by plowing under several rows of standing wheat to create fire break at the plateau. In addition, local irrigation ponds close to the fire were made available to crews to make water bucket dips to fight the fire. Things could get dicey later this afternoon, and predicted gusty winds and reduced relative humidity. Douglas County Sheriff Kevin Morris says we're now in the teeth of the summer wildfire season and asks that all residents obey the posted signs and think safety.
It would help us tremendously if folks would slow down in the area, avoid the area if they don't have to be here. We're going to put out pictures as best we can, so don't try to go find the fire and take a look at it yourself. Do us all a favor and make sure we don't have any other incidents such as accidents or injured people just by trying to see what's happening.
Are your Marine Patrol guys going to be out on the water today? Because there are going to be helicopters out there dipping out of the river.
Right, we're prepared to do that. They have not requested our Marine Patrol during their dipping yet. If we have a lot of boats on the water creating an issue, I'm sure they're going to request and we will be out there. Brings up another good point. If you don't need to be on the water today in this area, do us a favor and stay off the water today, because we will be having aircraft in the area dipping out of the river.
I know that you have initiated some evacuation advisories, level 1 and level 3s for the Desert Canyon fire. Maybe this would be a good time as a primer to maybe refresh our viewers on the levels of evacuation and what they should be preparing for right now.
Right, and as a reminder, level 1 is basically get ready. Level 2 is get set, and level 3 is a go. The simplest way to remember that. So when we give a level 1 notice, we're telling you there is a fire in the area, that you are not an immediate threat right now, but we need you to start getting your affairs in order, start thinking about animals, your pets, anything that you need to get out of there to get it ready. 2 is kind of like load it up and be ready to go in a split second, because 3 means we need you to go right now. That's what those levels mean.
Again, the Desert Canyon fire is approximately 1,400 acres, 40% contained as of this morning. We'll get another update on a fire briefing. Be sure and watch our Facebook page and our website at ncwlife.com for further updates on the Desert Canyon fire. Well, Grant County Fire District 13 assisted the Ephrata City firefighters at a major commercial structure fire Tuesday night. The fire destroyed a large warehouse at the Barry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership. Officials say in a Facebook post that crews arrived during the overnight hours to find the large storage building in the northeast corner of the property fully involved. Firefighters spent about 3 hours working on the fire and returned Wednesday morning to work on a hot spot. City fire officials are reportedly working with the National Weather Service to determine if lightning may have been the cause of the fire. It is still under investigation. Grant County voters will be asked in November to approve a sales tax increase to pay for a new jail and help increase city and county law enforcement resources. Sheriff Tom Jones told Moses Lake City Council members earlier this week that he was seeking a 3% increase in the sales tax. The money would be used to build a new jail at an estimated cost of up to $60 million. Jones says 40% of the funds generated would be distributed among the 14 cities within Grant County for their law and justice needs. If passed, the new tax would generate about $5.5 million to $6 million per year. Well, residents of Chelan County gathered at the Confluence Technology Center last night for a public hearing regarding short-term vacation rentals in the county. Here with more details from that meeting, NCWLIFE's Kyle Montgomery.
Around 150 residents from Chelan County gathered last night at the Confluence Technology Center for a public hearing regarding code development for the management of short-term vacation rentals. Citizens both in favor and against short-term rentals came to give their 2-minute public comments either in support or opposition of ZTA 19004, a resolution that would add amendments to Title 11 zoning laws to address short-term rentals. Along with amendments to zoning laws, amendments to Chapter 1498 would be added to amend definitions for clarification and consistency in short-term rentals throughout Chelan County. The Planning Commission was asked to review, consider, and make a recommendation to the Board of Chelan County Commissioners to approve, deny, or approve in part adoption of the proposed zoning code and definition amendments relating to short-term rentals. The proposed amendments would address the short-term vacation rentals within Chelan County and will further address complaints received from the county in regards to the impact of short-term rentals on neighborhoods. Many of the complaints stemming from those in support of the amendment stated that too many guests, lazy owners, and the lack of actual neighbors have led them to support enforcing standards on short-term rentals. The lead opposition against ZTA 19004 was the Short-Term Rental Alliance of Chelan County, a group of short-term rental owners who claim they have done nothing wrong by renting out their homes as an effective way to make extra income. No decision was reached Thursday evening on the amendments, and the discussion will continue at next month's Planning Commission meeting where the public will still be allowed to give their comments. With NCWLIFE News, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you much, Kyle, for that report. Northwest cherry growers will receive a federal subsidy to help them recover losses associated with the ongoing U.S.-China trade dispute. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced a $16 billion package aimed at supporting American agriculture producers affected by retaliatory tariffs by China. House Representative Dan Newhouse and Senator Maria Cantwell secured the funding through the Market Facilitation Program, which provides direct payments and financial relief to producers.
Cherries have been kind of on the tip of the spear of this whole thing. When the tariffs were first instituted, we were just going into cherry season last year, and so this is actually the second season that they've had to endure the challenges with the trade conflicts that we have. So I'm happy that the administration has listened to us and has continued to provide some of this needed support to keep fruit growers in our region at least try as hard as we can to keep them whole as we work through these trade challenges.
Payments will be provided to sweet cherry producers at a rate of 17 cents per pound. For producers who applied in 2018, the payment limit will be $125,000. For those who applied in this year, the payment limit will be $250,000. Senator Cantwell called the payments a big win for Washington State cherry growers. She added, quote, "While the priority remains an end to trade disputes, it's critical that our growers get access to this assistance while harmful tariffs remain in place," end quote. Well, time to find out what's taking place this weekend with our own Megan McPherson.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. Meet and hear from the National Geographic Adventurer of the Year, Jennifer Farr, this Friday at 7 p.m. in the Local Event Center at Pybus Public Market. The lecture is suitable for all ages. Davis is a long-distance hiker, author, speaker, and ambassador for the American Hiking Society. She has hiked over 12,000 miles on 6 different continents, including through hikes on the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, the Colorado Trail, the Long Trail in Vermont, the Bibbulmun Track in Australia, and numerous trails in Europe and South America. Her belief is that the trail is there for everyone at every phase of life, and with the goal of getting people, especially women and children, outdoors on their own terms. Theater Under the Stars presents Perry Hodder in the High School Musical, happening this Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. in Chelan. Imagine the musical kids of High School Musical mixing with the magical cast of Harry Potter, and that's what Perry Hodder in the High School Musical is, a hilarious hodgepodge of magical musical merriment and mayhem. Barnflix presents Big Fish this Friday night at 9 at the Sunshine Ranch. Beer, wine, popcorn, hot dogs, soda, candy, and water are available for purchase at the venue. Parking will be at the ranch and the cost is $5.45 online or $8 at the door. And finally, Music in the Meadow, the Paperboys, is this Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Meadow Stage at the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts in Leavenworth. Bring a chair or blanket. Food, wine, beer, and other beverages will be available for purchase starting at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at icicle.org. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Thank you much, Megan McPherson, doing a great job with keeping track of what's happening on the calendar, our Humane Society updates with the Kennel cameos, and then, of course, she gets up bright and early and runs all the buttons here for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. So Megan's doing a great job. It is 17 minutes past the hour, looking at sunny skies and hot today. 98 our expected high. We're at 63 right now outside our studios here in downtown Wenatchee. We'll take a break, come back. Sports news on the way. Also, we'll take a look at the obscure holiday today, look at what happened on this day in history, some celebrity birthdays, and Mike Magnotti with his opinion. Also, the last half of the show, we'll be joined by intern Kyle and find out what it's like to be a student at Washington State University. That's coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. By the way, don't forget, we'll have your latest local news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock with our own Grant Olson. And you can watch it live on Channel 12 here on this little TV station right here. You can also watch it on Channel 19 on Charter. You can watch us over the air. You can watch us streaming on our website at ncwlife.com. And if you see news happening, let us know about it. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. You can reach out to us through our Facebook page. Be sure and like us while you're there. And also, you can call us direct at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. Stay right there. Sports next on the Wake Up Wenatchee program here on this little local TV station we call NCW Life.
I told Miss Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
My name is Brian Thorpe. I own Global Car Care in Wenatchee and have been here for about 25 years.
Brian started Global Car Care as Brian's automotive alternative on Orondo Street.
Some customers were following Brian since Brian's automotive time.
No, we're just grateful to be part of this community. This is where I grew up. We want to do our part to be a valuable part of this community. We want to thank you for trusting our business for 25 years.
Finally, Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. In for Dan Kuntz, I'm Eric Granstrom. 63 degrees and clear skies, reaching for a high of 98 degrees today. So you might want to find some water in your world and both drink it and sit in it later today. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Ryan Johnston and 2 relievers combined on a 2-run, 1-hitter as Walla Walla beat Wenatchee last night 3-2 down in Walla Walla. The voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman, has more.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox bats were stymied on Thursday night at Borleski Stadium as the Sox dropped the second game of the three-game set by a 3-2 score. Wenatchee didn't collect a base hit until the 7th inning when Dalton Heron tripled and was then brought in with a groundout. The Sox did have the bases loaded with no outs in the 8th inning. However, they were only able to get 1 run out of it and ultimately lost by 1 run as well. The Sox look to salvage the series at 7:05 p.m. on Friday night against the Swedes. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. That starting pitcher for Walla Walla, by the way, pretty good last night. Johnston went 6 innings, allowed 1 run, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts. Brady Harai earned the save going 2 innings and allowed no runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts in relief. Offensively, the Sweets would do all the damage off Wenatchee starter Seth Kuykendall in the first inning. Walla Walla manufactured 3 runs in the first frame on a ground-out RBI by Cesar Lopez, sac fly for an RBI by Chaz Martinez, and an RBI single by David James Lebionda. The Apple Sox only hit came off of the bat of Dalton Heron. Wenatchee Walla Walla wrap up that 3-game set tonight. Sox return home, by the way, to host Portland in the first of 3 games at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. We'll have that first game of the series live tomorrow night here on the NCWLIFE Channel. 6:15 with a pregame, 6:35 first pitch here on your television home for the Apple Sox, the NCWLIFE Channel. Also in the West Coast League as we open up the Les Schwab scoreboard. You see the score there for Wenatchee. Also, Steve Ramirez, Cameron Rapetti, and Justin Boyd each hit home runs as Ridgefield edged Victoria 7-6. Ezra Semperi hit a 3-run home run to lead Kelowna to an 11-1 win over Yakima Valley. Pippin pitching allowed 13 walks in that one. Tristan King hit a solo home run, and Nick Jovetic was 2 for 3 with a run as Corvallis edged Portland 3-2. The Knights, by the way, 30-7 on the summer season so far. Non-league play last night. Northwest Star Academy scored 4 runs in the first and cruised to a 6-1 win over Ben. Nick DePonzio and Alexander Marco each hit homers to power Port Angeles past the Redmond Dudes 14-4, and Everett Merchant pitching held Cowlitz to 2 runs on 4 hits with 10 strikeouts and a 4-2 win over the Black Bears. Well, thanks to Ridgefield and Kelowna getting wins last night, Wenatchee neither gained nor lost ground in the WCL's North Division standings. Harbor Cats remain out in front at 9-5 with Wenatchee a game back at 8-6. Port Angeles leapfrogged Yakima Valley to 3rd, 2 games out of first place. The Pippins are a game under 500, 2.5 back. Kelowna is in 5th at 5-9. The Bells last place at 3-8. Here's what's on the sports schedule for this coming weekend. Wenatchee NIT softball tournament is Saturday and Sunday at Walla Walla Point Park. This is the 41st annual event bringing firefighters and first responders in to play softball for the weekend. Also, the Sunburn Classic 3-on-3 basketball tournament is tomorrow and Sunday on 3rd Street in East Wenatchee next to Eastmont Community Park. Tournament organizer J.D. Taylor says after bouncing around the last few years, he thinks the new site will be a permanent home.
It's going to be home. We're in East Wenatchee. Thanks to the city of East Wenatchee and Eastmont Parks and the school district. We're going to be on 3rd, right in front of the high school.
Eastmont High School and the park.
Yep. And so we pick up the park as well this year, so we have lots of shade and water and toys for the kids. It's going to be a great location to have this event.
As you see there, Taylor, a recent guest on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley to talk about what the Sunburn Classic tournament is all about.
It's half-court basketball. This size of the courts, because of our venue, we really want to make good use of the space that we have. So we have a center court that's 50 feet by 50 feet with our Porter basketball hoops on it. But the rest of it, we're running right down the middle of the street, and the court size, we're going to go 50 feet wide with the sidelines.
Is that larger than normal, or is
that's about typical size of a regulation high school court, and college and pro, they're 50 feet wide, but the depth is going to be 30 feet for the out of bounds, which is about 5 feet more than most places are given with their setbacks. So we have that. The difference is the age divisions is the differences in the size of the hoops, because we'll have first and second graders. Of course, their three-point line is going to be a little bit closer, the free throw line a little bit closer, and their hoops a little bit shorter. So they can get the ball up there. It's all about them being able to have some successes and then still being able to convert with the skills that they have.
Yeah, Sunburn Classic living up to its name with temperatures up near 90 again all weekend long. Saturday and Sunday next to Eastmont Community Park, there's going to be a cornhole tournament, also wiffle ball tournament, so lots of fun there on 3rd Street in East Wenatchee. By the way, that stretch of street will be closed while they've got hoops going on. Also, back to the calendar for the weekend up at Appalachia. Some horsing around going on. Game show tomorrow and Sunday, and they'll have team sporting clinic on Sunday. Well, the Seahawks began training camp yesterday at Renton's Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Main topic on reporters' minds following practice was the 6-game suspension of defensive tackle Jaron Reed.
It's been a long time in the works. We respect what the league has done in their decisions that they make. Jaron's been working at this for some time now, and I appreciate the growth and the maturity and the transparency that he's brought forth in showing us that he does understand that it's a very serious issue, and I think our guys in general have shown that kind of growth and maturity, and you can just feel that he's learned from this, and he's moving ahead.
Coach Pete Carroll there. Reed also addressed the media, saying he disagreed with the NFL's decision, but ultimately he's just trying to move forward.
I would like to say, that I'm very saddened to the news, that would be suspended 6 games. Of course, I disagree, with the decision based on the facts. But, I've grown over the years that I had, to learn and to grow, to mature as a leader, as a person that has good character, and for sure that's going to play hard and do everything I can for my teammates. The only thing we can do is move forward. I respect the NFL's decision. We just move forward, continue to do better.
Do you understand why it came now, I guess, 2 years after the fact?
I don't understand why, but, this decision they made, we got to move forward.
You said you disagree with it. Can you explain why you disagree with it?
Just based on the facts, I just disagree with it.
As a team guy, what's the hardest? Is that you're not going to be there?
Excuse me, keep saying that?
As a team guy, is that the hardest thing?
Oh, yeah, that's the very hardest, that I'm not going to be able to be out there with my guys, man. That really hurts because I love the game of football, and just got to eat the bullet, man, just got to do better.
Reed and the Seahawks have now 13 practice days to get ready for their first training camp game, their preseason game, if you will. It's August 8th, 2 weeks from yesterday, against the Denver Broncos at CenturyLink Field. That's sports news here at 27 minutes past the hour on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Still to come, Mike Magnotti with his opinion. Also, intern Kyle will be in the chair to my left, coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Obscure holiday of the day today is National All or Nothing Day. It's time to push them all in, or just step away and be done. One or the other. It's not gray, it's not halfway, it's that day where you decide that today, I'm gonna do it. This is it. It's happening. I'm in, or I'm out. If it's that relationship, maybe today's the day you pop the question. You're in, or you're out. National All or Nothing Day today. July 26th, as we look at this day in history on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It was on this date in 1945, in the 11th hour of World War II, Winston Churchill, forced to resign as British Prime Minister following the party's electoral defeat by the Labour Party. It was the first general election held in Britain in more than a decade. The same day, Clement Attlee, the Labour leader, was sworn in as the new British leader. There you go, headlines on this date in 1945. A little bit lighter note on this date in 1975, Van McCoy's The Hustle topped the Billboard 100, Hot 100 and Hot Sold Singles charts, simultaneously signaling the beginning of the disco era. What were they wearing there? What was that in the end of that? It looked like I Dream of Jeannie or something like that. The Hustle, #1 on this date in 1975. You're welcome, by the way. I just gave you an earworm for the rest of your morning. Too many moves for me, The Hustle. It's too much to remember. Also, on this date, sad day, while rounding the fourth turn in 1998, 3 fans were killed, 6 injured in the U.S. 500 kart series race. It happened at Michigan Speedway.
It looked as though it was another situation of getting out wide. Yes, he got in the marbles, and the wheel flying over the fencing as well, and that perhaps has gone into the grandstand. So that's a very worrying moment. Adrian Fernandez hitting the wall extremely hard.
Yeah, sad day on this date in kart racing at Michigan Speedway. The tire flew over the 15-foot wall, traveled nearly 200 miles per hour. The tire and some debris hit fans in the 9th and 10th rows. 2 people were killed instantly. Another died moments later. 6 others received minor injuries. Happened on this date in 1998. That's a look at on this day in history here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, as we're 31 minutes past the hour here on a Finally Friday. Birthdays today. Famous people celebrating birthdays. Mick Jagger. If you want to feel old, Mick Jagger is 76 today. Lead singer for Rolling Stones. Mick Jagger, happy birthday. Also, happy birthday to Helen Mirren, famous actress, and boy, she's looking good for 74. How about that? Helen Mirren, happy birthday to Helen. And Sandra Bullock having a birthday as well today on this 26th of July. Sandra is 54 years young today. Are we supposed to say how old women are? Is that still not the polite? Oh, it's asking a woman how old she is. Oh, that's okay. That's what, got it now. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We'll have Mike Magnotti with his opinion, and we'll find out about the world of an intern at the Broadcast Metroplex we know as the NCWLIFE Studios. Kyle Montgomery, intern Kyle, will join us on the program coming up here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Thanks for joining us.
Find it all at Wenatchee Valley Mall. There's something for all ages at Wenatchee Valley Mall. No matter what the weather, the kids will have fun in one of the many play areas around the mall. Sign your kids up for fun adventures and super specials when they join the Kids Club. It's a great time for kids and an even better time out for parents. Check out specials and events 24/7 at WenatcheeValleyMall.com. It's your Wenatchee Valley Mall. Come shop today.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
It's always been a dream of mine to own a home. She had credit, I didn't.
And I was like, you know what, let's just go talk and see what we could do to move forward.
We walked into Guild Mortgage. I didn't think home ownership was possible. Tracy had a plan for us. Small things that we could do to establish credit. Honestly, before you knew it, the next step was go home, build your dreams, live happily ever after.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs. Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Hey friends, this is the Discovery Center at Rocky Reach Dam, where things look exactly like they did in the 1960s. Say cheese! Turns out the way people learn has changed a lot since then.
Gee, Pop, that lecture was swell.
It's about time to create some new and exciting ways to interact with the story of the PUD and our valley. We'll be closed next year while we make some magic happen. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted on the journey.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now,
If there's another school shooting in this country, the blame in part is going to fall at the feet of those people who've been crying for more governmental legislation and more restrictive gun laws. Now, maybe these things will help, maybe, but they're only going to help in the future. The only thing that has the hope of stopping whoever is out there right now who already has the guns to use is restricted access to schools with metal detectors and trained armed professionals on scene. And I'm sorry, that's true. Now, of course, this is totally unacceptable to those who say more guns won't solve the problem. Well, this attitude of being unwilling to recognize that nothing the government is going to do tomorrow is going to stop a school shooting today, they're going to be part of the blame for, God forbid, another school shooting. It's not a matter of more guns. The guns are already there, and that's the reality. And this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
La primavera ya está aquí en Town Nissan y también nuestros carros certificados como este Nissan Altima y este Nissan Rogue. Cada uno de estos vehículos pasa por 167 puntos de inspección. Estás cubierto por 7 años o 100,000 millas de garantía y te puedes ahorrar miles de dólares en estos modelos populares. Y hablando de las mejores garantías de América, 5 años o 100,000 millas en todas las trocas nuevas Titan. Compra inteligentemente y con confidencia en el Town Nissan, atrás de la casco en East Wenatchee.
Looking for a hands-on, high-demand job? Now is the perfect time to get trained for a career in manufacturing. Washington currently has a shortage of skilled tradespeople, and retirements are making room for more. The machining program at Wenatchee Valley College is designed to give students the foundation to excel in this precision industry. Don't wait, there are only 15 spots left. A 2-year degree and a 1-year certificate are available. Learn more at wvc.edu/machining.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Sunny skies in our forecast for this Friday. 98 the expected high. We're at 63 as we rise and shine for a 26th of July 2019. Eric Granstrom filling in for Dan Kuntz, and I'm sure Dan would have gotten to this eventually with our next guest joining us in studio. We have Kyle the intern is here. Kyle Montgomery. How you doing, Kyle?
Good. Nice to be here, sir.
Good morning, sir. I love that. So, you're a local kid, right?
Yep. Grew up in Wenatchee, born here 22 years ago, and lived in East Wenatchee ever since.
Okay. And where'd you graduate from?
Eniat High School.
Eniat?
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's a little different. Did you guys live there? Did you choose to go there?
My half-sister lived up in Eniat with her mom and her stepdad, and when I was in 7th grade, I decided that I thought it would be best to go up there and just spend a year of school with one of my siblings, because I never had gotten to do that. And so I went up there and just spent the entire rest of my high school life up there, and I loved it. So
we had I worked with a gentleman who graduated from Eniat years ago, who kind of did some radio for us back when I was at KPQ. Ty Aris.
Yep.
I don't know if you know Ty or not.
Yep. Great guy.
But great guy. So give me the world of Eniat and going to Eniat High School and such a small school. I mean, I guess Waterville, Eniat, kind of similar in size, that type of thing. What's it like to go to Eniat and be a Tiger?
Yeah, it's completely different than any other experience that I've had going to any school. Going from Eniat, a graduating class of 33 people, to Washington State was absolutely insane. But it's the most unique experience, and unless you've actually gone through it, I can't really explain it, because you know everybody in your class, you know everybody in the middle school, I was a kindergarten TA, so there was kindergartners that I knew and I was actually working with every single day. And so stuff like that, you don't get to experience that at a high school. You kind of you might get lost in the shuffle unless you're really athletic or really smart, and at INEAD it's super easy to just kind of stay on pace with everything.
Sure. My daughter, for 2 of her 4 high school years, went to Liberty Bell. And so she said that's kind of the yin and the yang, Dad. Because I always asked her, I said, how come you don't have a boyfriend or something like that? She goes, I know everybody and I know all their secrets.
Exactly. It's there's no secrets in a small town. You learn that really quick. And even being outside of East Wenatchee, everyone in the INEAD knew, who I was and everything that I was doing. And so it's very unique and really cool atmosphere.
So you decided to go to Washington State. Why?
Yes. Well, I originally wanted to get into sports journalism. Growing up as a kid, that was the only thing I ever wanted to do.
Why? Why did you want to follow that path? Who was the guy or person that you're like, wow, that is cool, I want to do that?
The first time I ever watched a college football game was the 2006 national championship between Texas and USC, and I still think that's the greatest game ever.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, just hearing Keith Jackson call that game, go Cougs, I was just enamored by him and everything that the emotion that he could bring to the game, and I was like, I want to do that. And so when I got to college, though, I was like, I want to be behind the camera more and do more editing so people can see my work be crafted into something that's really cool. And
so when you go to Washington State University, do you have to get some of the general classes out of the way before you can actually get into the program?
Yes.
And where are you in that program right now?
Yes, so I'm going into my final semester. So thankfully I've taken all the biology classes, all of the chemistry classes, all the stuff that I really don't like, especially math. That's my biggest one. So I got that out of the way quick. I actually took a finance class instead of actual math to satisfy my math credit. And so
how'd that go for you?
It was great.
You still had to crunch numbers, right?
Exactly. Got an A and learned a little bit about personal finance, which not a lot of people my age know about.
Nobody uses a checkbook anymore, right?
A what? Exactly. And so, but I'm in my final semester, and that's when it gets fun, because you're just taking classes that you want to take, and you're actually learning stuff that you really like, and that's when school becomes... I'm almost upset to leave it now, and in these last couple semesters I realized that, because it's like I'm actually learning stuff that's useful.
So 2006, I'm trying to think how old you would have been at that point when you watched that national championship game.
I would have been 9.
9?
Yes.
Okay, so did you ask somebody about Keith Jackson? Did you look him up? I mean, you hear the voice,
right,
which is the greatest voice, one of the greatest sports voices of all time.
Whoa, Nelly.
Yes, that's right.
My limited Keith Jackson.
So, I mean, how did you know that this guy is who he is, and that he went to Washington State University and had that background?
So I asked my dad, who's a sports nut, and that's where I've gotten all my sports knowledge from. I asked him, I'm like, okay, so I know I can get the players on the field. I'm like, who's this guy that's like commentating over the game? And he's like, that's a Washington State Coug. He's Keith Jackson. He's probably one of the best sports commentators of all time. And I was like, wow, that's cool. I'm like, he's just making me so hyped and the game's already making me hyped enough, but this guy's just adding that emotion and just bringing it out. And then I thought that was just excellent.
It's neat to have that tie-in from a guy who's not from the Northwest, who ended up going through that program. And my boss, I had Dean Mitchell in the Tri-Cities at Kona Radio back in the day, went to school with Keith Jackson. And actually, they both applied for the same job at Como TV in Seattle as the sports director. And of course, Keith got it. My boss, Dean Mitchell, did not. Dean went on to a great career of owning a radio station, and he has a great legend in his past in the Tri-Cities. But look what Keith has done.
Exactly.
So is the school named after him?
No, it's the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication,
yes.
But there is Jackson Hall, which is one of the most prominent halls on campus, and Gertzen Hall, which is named after Kathy Gertzen, who's also a really famous alum. So,
of course, then you have a very famous Bob that has been involved in the Cougar program forever.
Yes.
He's kind of rotating out of that now. Did you get a chance to meet him, talk to him, or anything like that?
I've never had the chance to meet him, and so, but growing up, I remember being 10, 11 years old, and then after I started getting into sports, I would hear on the radio, and I would hear Bob Robertson, just that classic call, and he's an icon in Cougar football, and so it's sad to see him kind of transition out of that role, but it's awesome to see him.
Yeah, the I say being a radio geek, and I got into this business because a similar thing as you, I listened to games on radio, and that was intriguing to me. It was amazing listening to, well, this is Bob Blackburn back in the day calling the Sonics games, and of course Dave Niehaus calling the Mariner games. We couldn't afford tickets to go to the game. Mariners used to never be on TV at all. They didn't have that contract, and so the only way to do it was the radio. And to me, to sit and listen and close your eyes and be able to see what they're describing was magical to me.
Exactly.
And I wanted to be part of that somehow.
Exactly. It's like a book almost. It's like they're just writing it, and you're just getting to and you get to paint your own picture in your head. And so it's incredible.
And to me, Bob Robertson forever will have the best catch call of anybody in radio sports, and because Bob emphasizes caught, the word caught. As you know, he's going down the field and the ball is caught, and that's. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that was really good, Bob Robertson.
And I begrudgingly became a Bob Robertson fan because I grew up in Western Washington, and the guy who's just leaving Wenatchee High School as the superintendent, Brian Flonis, played at Washington State University. He was a Cedar Woolley kid where I grew up. His dad had a gas station, was a good buddy of my dad's, and so every Saturday we'd have to go down to Bucky's gas station and listen to the Cougar games on the radio. I was a Husky fan. I was
okay.
Well, you know,
I'll move the chair over a little.
Grew up in Western Washington, you know, that's it. And so I'd have to sit there and listen to these games. But I was intrigued by Bob Robertson, and the thing that stuck with me always, and I got a chance to interview Bob one time here at a Cougar night with the Apple Sox, and tell him, your catch call is my favorite of anybody out there, and it's a weird thing. And he specifically liked that because it was very specific about one thing.
Right.
You know, like what you said with Keith Jackson, the telecast can start, and then here comes the voice. Right. And you could be passively watching, and then Keith Jackson, you hear that, hello everybody from Martin Stadium in Pullman, and the way he phrases things, and then suddenly you're like, ooh, okay, I'm paying attention.
Let's go. It's time for some ball.
Why did you choose to go, instead of being in front of the camera or behind the microphone, why did you want to do the behind the scenes stuff instead?
Yeah, so I kind of just transferred out of that when I was about a junior. I was going through just a bunch of different stuff with family, and one of my fraternity brothers passed away, and so I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it was at that point that I kind of realized I didn't want sports to be my entire life, and all my life everyone knew me as the sports guy, and everyone knew me as being really smart with sports, and I was like, do I want this to be what I make my life? And then I started really getting into producing videos, and people were like, you actually are like pretty good at this. And then at the start of this year, my senior year, I really got into producing music and producing just beats, instrumental sounds. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty good at this for only doing it for a couple months. I'm like, I can probably, if I work as hard as I worked in sports and learning that knowledge, I can really get good at this and create something that I think will be better than what I could have done in sports, and I can also have sports as my leisure then on the side. So that was kind of my biggest thing.
Yeah, as a guy who's been in broadcasting for 30 years, I know about getting pigeonholed as one thing.
That was my biggest fear, and yeah.
We're gonna take a break. I don't know how this guy ended up here at the NCWLIFE Channel. So we'll talk with Kyle the intern about how he became an intern and what it's like. We'll pull back the curtain and see what it's like to be an intern here at the NCWLIFE Channel. As Wake Up Wenatchee Valley continues, we're at 49 minutes past the hour. Back with more right after this.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson, where we've got huge news. We've started our Blueberry U-Pick. It's a great time to toss the family in the car and get on out to Blueberry Hills, where you can get the best down-home scratch country cooking around and pick some of the world's most delicious and largest blueberries that have been high desert farmed. This makes for an intense blueberry flavor, and they are so much fun to pick. Our fields are open 8 to 2:30 daily and restaurant from 8 to 3, so come on out and join us.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
Dear Mary Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and the floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Mary Maids.
My name is Ralph Sorensen, and I own Homestead Vinyl Products. We make vinyl fencing. We manufacture the vinyl fencing here. We also sell and install vinyl fencing.
Along with that, Homestead Vinyl Products sells cedar, chain link, custom designed vinyl pergolas, arbors, gazebos, and ornamental fencing. To view complete projects, check their website, homesteadvinylpr.net, or stop by their showroom in Entiat on Highway 97A. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for a Friday, 26th of July, 2019. Kyle, the intern, is our guest here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Before we talk about how you became an intern, grab your water bottle.
Yes, absolutely.
And this is like, is it going to disappear with the Oh, no,
no, we're good.
It's
Yeah.
good. Okay, so Megan's got your solo camera, I think, over there, so you can hold the bottle up and talk about. We noticed this the other day when we were talking to Kyle about the things he has on his water bottle, and they all mean something to you, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so walk us through what's going on with your water bottle.
Of course. So we're going to start at the top. Like I said, sports fan. My dad grew up in Southern California, so I grew up a Lakers fan. LeBron James is my favorite, or second favorite athlete, and so got him. Kind of in honor of National All or Nothing Day, a little "Why Not" sticker. Just a good saying that I think. Kanye West quote, "Name one genius that ain't crazy." First time I heard that, I was like, huh, okay. And then every time I've heard it since, I'm like, it's actually pretty true the more you think about it.
Yeah, just think of Einstein's hair.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, and then we got just a couple more, another Lakers sticker for Kyle Kuzma, a couple rap album stickers that I have here that I just think are really unique. Drake, a little picture of him as a baby. Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Russell Westbrook's my favorite athlete, kind of the reason I got into basketball. Kevin McAllister from Home Alone saying "shut up." I just think that's a classic quote. And then quote from the Kardashians, Kim, "there's people that are dying." I just think, you got to end it with something.
So this is a little kind of a microcosm of who you are.
Yes, I think that you should just be able to display your personality wherever you want to, and I figure water bottle, that's something I always got on me, so
okay, and
it's kind of all over the place.
This is the thing, right? This is your generation. You're not a millennial, you're just under, right?
I'm a tick under millennial, and they call that Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I don't know what the Z stands for.
Okay. We had Gen X, so yeah. I guess... Did we have a Y?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just went from X to Z.
We went from X to millennial to Gen Z.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
But so the stickers on the water bottle, that's kind of a thing though for your generation?
Yeah, and so I don't know if people have as many as I do on mine.
Okay.
But I know there's plenty of people that have.
Yeah, back in my day, we used to put our own personalized little things on our peaches.
Yes, and so.
Do you even know what a peachy is?
Yes, I know. I think that was right at the tail end of Peaches is when I was getting into school.
Okay, how did you get here?
Yes.
How did this whole thing happen with you getting an internship here at the NCWLIFE Channel?
Yeah, so like I said, I switched my major from journalism to production when I was a junior. And when I had switched my major, I'd already had a job for my junior year set up last year where I was an orientation counselor at Washington State, which was an awesome job, a thrilling summer. But then this summer, I realized I didn't want to do that again, and I needed something that was really going to help me in my professional career. And so I applied for a bunch of public relations types internships, and I didn't really hear back, or the places that I heard back from were really far away and unpaid. So I messaged John Seebeck and said, hey, is there any openings at NCWLIFE for any production interns, anything like that? And he set me up with Cal Fitzsimmons, and after that, I was here about a week later working.
So you knew John from family or something?
I knew him from a fantasy football league that I played in many years ago. And so, yes, so pays to have your good connections.
I have found in 30 years of broadcasting, it's all about who you know, not what you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, the who gets you in, and then you got to figure out what you know.
Yeah, exactly. But if you have that in, then you're going to be good to go.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to do with all this? Have you decided?
No, I
mean,
really haven't.
Semester left there,
I know,
Kyle.
yeah.
The clock's ticking.
I know.
I suppose your parents is telling you the same thing. By the way, what are you planning on doing?
Oh, my mom's probably only asked me that every single day for the last 10 years, so I probably should have an answer to this question by now, but my dream would be to create my own podcast network where I can have my kind of group of kind of my team, I guess, or people that I know are really smart, because I know so many people that are so talented in so many different aspects of sports, fashion, news, all those things, music, and I think all of those go together in this kind of pop culture world that we're going to that's geared more towards our phones. So I would really love to create like a YouTube or a podcast network that combines all of those facets into one and creates it's almost like an ESPN almost, but with a heavy emphasis on the entertainment rather than just on the sports.
How do you monetize that to pay your rent and buy food and gas and things like that?
That is a great question. And so
I've suddenly become dad once again.
Yes, he has. He's got me shaking over here. So I don't want to think that I only have 5 months left to figure it out, but.
Well, congratulations, first of all, on making a choice. And that's the hard thing and my daughter's 20, almost 21, and she's, in that crux of her life where I don't know what I want to do, and she's continuing with education and things, but what to do with that is the big quandary, and what is going to be employable? What is going to be something that you're going to, A, enjoy, and B, pay the bills in the meantime?
Well, exactly. And one of the things that I don't tell a lot of people this, but I know this in my head, a lot of people don't find what they want to do when they're 22. Right. Some people,
and that's okay, actually.
That's the good thing, is it's fine. It's like you don't have to know exactly what you want to do at 17, because by the time you're 30, you might get burned out on that. So changing what you want to do and looking at your friends and not being like, I'm not that successful yet, or I'm not going to succeed in this. Jay-Z is a billionaire, and he didn't start rapping until he was 26. So I think, you know what, if you want to wait until you're 30 to start your career and figure out what you actually love, if you're not doing what you love, you shouldn't be doing it. That's my biggest thing. And so there's not a day where I want to wake up and be like, I don't want to go to work. That's kind of my biggest thing.
So you're home for the summer to do this internship. You were doing the Washington State thing last year, so you stayed down on campus?
I stayed down on campus, yes.
Okay. Is home an open door for you?
Yes, so thankfully.
For however, past graduation?
Past graduate, yeah.
You're not getting the big shoe?
Yeah, they'll probably give me the boot eventually if I'm there too long, but I know that my parents, I'm an only child on my mom's, so I'm my mom's baby, and so she's gonna, if she wants to kick me out, she's gonna be hard-pressed herself to do that, and so, and my dad.
See, and that's the danger, Mom. He knows that. He knows it.
Exactly. And my dad, just every time I'm home, he's like, I just love having you around, and I love being with him and just hanging out and talking with them. They're my best friends when I come home, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
Well, we've had some pretty good interns that have gone on to careers that have done really well here at the NCWLIFE Channel. So no pressure, Kyle.
I know, yeah. Not at all. This is a good start.
We have been happy to have you here. His skills and abilities showed themselves in the first day when he sat down and started working with our software, and the education you're getting at Wazoo is paying off. So, and I assume that it is going to pay dividends in the future as well. So, a very bright future for Mr. Kyle Montgomery, intern Kyle, which, this whole speak when you're spoken to type of thing has not happened at all. Where are the donuts, Kyle?
I know. I have to go pick up the donuts and the coffee for everybody right after this interview. So, back to work.
Have you enjoyed your time doing that?
I've absolutely loved it. Thank you all so much for being so opening. This has been the most rewarding experience that I could have had, and I've only been here a month, and I'm bummed I only have 1 month left.
Hardest thing about being an intern at NCWLIFE Channel?
Hardest thing about being an intern? Oh, wow, that's a tough question.
Coming in and being on the show this morning?
Having to wake up at 7:30 every single morning.
You've scheduled your classes so that you're,
yes.
like 9, 10 o'clock classes at school?
I'm a big wake up when there's 4 numbers on the clock guy.
Okay, all right. Biggest thing you've learned since you've been here?
Biggest thing I've learned is that you don't know everything. There's still so much that you can learn.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
For somebody 22 years old to understand that is huge, because usually in that early 20s, I have all the answers.
Yes.
And that's where all the arguments happen with parents and things like that, because you know everything.
Exactly.
Apparently, because you've gone to higher education. So
I've gone to Washington State, and I have a degree. So.
Oh goodness. Well, Best of luck.
Thank you very
Thanks
much
for coming
having
in.
me, sir.
Kyle,
Appreciate
the
it.
intern, joining us here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, and you'll be able to see Kyle's work. Attended a meeting last night. Great job covering that. It's going to be on the evening news tonight with Grant Olson at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock here on the program on NCWLIFE Channel. Hey, don't forget also baseball coming up this weekend. We have Apple Sox and the Pickles of Portland. Kyle's going to be behind the camera, as a matter of fact, on that whole thing.
First base side.
There you
Come
go.
say hello.
Come say hi to Kyle this weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. Dan will be back on Monday, and thanks for putting up with me here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. See ya.